worse, why is it broken and sending people the wrong emails or sending it to the wrong people? Well, if your workflows are starting to feel like a little bit of a spaghetti mess of triggers and tags and guesswork, don't worry, you're not alone. You see, most small business owners, they set up their automations and they can't really explain or even trust what they haven't touched in months. And there are those silent errors as well. And they're probably costing you sales, even time, and maybe a little bit of cuckoo sanity along the way. But what if I told you you now have access to an AI tech building team that could, for you, review your existing workflows, tell you how to improve them, what might be broken or missing, or even build an automation from scratch alongside you? Well, that's what today is all about. So drop the word workflow in the chat if you've ever wanted help to create those workflows and you'd like a little assistant in your back pocket who actually understands your business. Well, that is week 4 of the OmniTEAMS AI Challenge. And as always, let's kick it off with our theme song as we wait for all of our VIPs to jump into the room, and I'll be back in 3.5 where we'll get stuck into the content together.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine,
out there, beautiful humans, and welcome back to another live stream of Strategy with Sally. Your behind the scenes look at how we build smart and scalable systems with a whole lot of heart. Now, I'm your host, Sally Sparks Cousins, and if we have not yet met, I am the founder of this OmniTEAMS, and we have officially kicked off week 4 of the OmniTEAMS AI Challenge, and wow. If you've been following along, we've really covered quite a lot and created your digital dream team. And it should be starting to take shape now inside of your OmniTEAMS software. So a little bit of a quick recap of what we've built so far. In week 1, we looked at your content creation team and we trained your AI to write just like you by setting up your brand voice and tone, and we used that information to start creating blogs, social media posts, emails, and even images. Then in week 2, we set up your conversations team. So those words that get replied to things like emails, text messages, DMs, and we trained your bot to handle inquiries such as answering frequently asked questions, and also you can qualify your leads. And we learned how to set up your AI's goals, a little bit more on the personality, and also some smart responses as well. Now, last week, we jumped into your receptionist team where we built out your voice AI. So it's that front desk person who can answer your calls, take messages, follow up, even take bookings for you if you want to, all while staying on brand. And our little voice AI, her name's Samantha, she's got a bit of personality as well. And we also gave you a QR code. If you wanted to chat with her and test her out, you could have given her a call. But this week, it's week 4. We're wrapping up the whole OmniTEAMS AI Challenge this week. And then we'll be moving on to other things in the coming month. But week 4 is all about assembling that tech building team. And these guys, they're your automation engineers, and they're going to make everything else work together for you behind the scenes. So today we're going to focus on automated workflows, email sequences, tagging, and even checking for mistakes in workflows, or even having a look through a workflow for you and explaining what it's for. So if you've ever opened a workflow and thought, oh, what the heck does this even do? Well, you're going to love it, because I'm about to show you how you can actually open it, ask it, what does this automation do? And how can it really help me? And it's going to give you a response. So let's talk a little bit more about today. We're going to look at your AI workflow assistant, and spoiler alert, it's not really just fancy, but it can also be your strategist as well. And we're going to look at how you can use AI to read and explain existing workflows. So it's really perfect for those moments of what the hell is going on. And we're going to use some real natural language prompts so that you can find out what to automate, and also it'll help you to map out your automation as well. So, and we're going to, of course, do over on the computer a real life demo and get stuck into that together. So let's talk about some real sort of tech magic as we look into this tech building team. It isn't just a bunch of fancy tools, but they really are that engineer powered by AI who's going to be there to nurture leads for you. Every single new lead that comes in, it will be able to follow up for you and also make sure that nothing and no beautiful humans fall through the cracks. So we're going to use AI to, number 1, read and explain what the workflows are. So perfect for that messy automation that you threw together and forgot. You can just easily ask, what does this automation do? And the AI will summarize every part of it, from triggers, conditions, emails, tasks, tags, goals, and so much more. So no more guesswork. Then we're going to get the AI to build you a custom automation. So we're going to ask it to create an indoctrination series today, but you can use it for things like writing reminder emails for bookings. If you were going to run a webinar, you can ask it, what should I put into the workflow for a webinar? Even if people don't answer or open emails, then what? So the AI is there to help lay out for you triggers, delays, emails, goals, all for you, so that you don't just stare at a blank screen. You've actually got guidance. And then I always like to ask it, what if? What if they don't open, right? So if not this, then what? So logic could be, if they don't engage, let's re-engage them to try and get those kind of, I call them no dead end strategies. So it's also considered a fallback step. If the customer doesn't reply, say in 48 hours, then what? Right? Other things that it can do is assign tasks. So for example, if you get a new lead in and they give you a phone number, probably a good idea that you call them, right? So it can help you build a workflow that if you get a new lead and we have a phone number, we should follow up with them. So AI will help you, like any idea that you've got, really, you can just ask it. And then the fifth thing is your AI is going to help you connect the dots. So it'll help you link workflows from pipelines, calendar bookings, tags, email sequences, all without actually breaking stuff. So no more forgetting the steps, because your AI building team thinks through all the logic for you. So why don't we just get stuck in? Shall we head over to my computer screen and check it out? So here we go, over to my computer screen. Make sure I click the right button, Sally. Here we are. So currently we are having a winter price freeze. If you would like to try AI Employee and try some of those things out that we've looked at, and there's even a few more things that we haven't looked at through this 4-week challenge, you can try the AI for free for 30 days and unlimited use. So just get in there, click away. So you'll have things like voice AI, conversation AI, reviews AI, funnel building AI, content creation AI, workflow AI, and ask AI. It's really your sort of more personalized AI. But you just need to click this, opt in, and you'll get 30 days for free. And yeah, just jump in and give it a try. All right, so let's head on over now. If you are, because we're working on workflows. So on the left-hand side, you will come down to automations. And then when you click on automations, we can go into one of the automations. So the one I've decided to go into, just so that you're aware, is we have an evergreen lead magnet called 25 Things That You Should Automate in Your Business. And we promote it on our podcast. We promote it at events when we go to events, on podcasts, and many other things. So I have this workflow that I created for 25 things you should automate in your business, but pretend I didn't know what was going on. Down the bottom left-hand corner, you will see Workflow AI. And when you click on that, it's going to give you some prompts. So the first prompt is, how do I? So if you've got a question, you can ask the AI automation tech assistant, or you can ask it to assist with a building. So you can suggest actions that can get your task done. The next one is you can add actions, so quickly add actions to your workflows. So normally if you're going to add an action, you would sort of click the plus button, you would have to find an action. But if you just click add action, what it will do is it will give you a list, and then you click on the action you want to add, and it automatically opens up in that action without you having to scroll through this big, huge, long list of actions. So actions are all of these different things that we can build into the automation. The next one is you can configure actions, so easily configure the actions and tailor them and get recommendations around it. You can ask it to suggest next steps. So this is really helps with the no dead end strategy. So the no dead end strategy is if this doesn't happen, then what? Right? So no leads fall through the cracks. And it's one of our 3 golden rules when we're building our funnels and automations. Always build a fast track is rule 1. Always build a slow track is rule 2. And the third rule, no dead ends. So that every single human that enters our OmniSam account is always nurtured and cared for until they're ready. And the next one here is describe the workflow. So this one will scan an existing workflow and it'll describe exactly what's happening in the workflow. The next one down here is optimize the workflow. So you can actually get it to analyze and suggest ways to improve the workflow. And then finally, you can ask it for articles and suggestions about any of the triggers or the action tasks to read more into. All right, so these are the actions that we can do, but here in, say, the 25 things you should automate ebook, I'm going to ask it to describe the workflow. So when I click on that, it's going to analyze the workflow and then it's going to come back and it tells me here, this workflow automatically handles new contacts when they submit a form. First, it tags a contact and then it creates and updates the opportunity. Then it changes the stage to a new lead, which happens in there. And then after a short wait, it sends a welcome email and a text message to introduce itself. It waits for the contact to reply within an hour, and if they reply positively, it continues with follow-up messages, surveys, and helpful emails over several days. Now, if they don't reply, it sends a different message. After waiting a few days, the goal is to engage the lead, smoothly move them towards becoming a customer. Now, you can go even deeper and it prompts a couple of ideas here. So you can click, can you describe the main components of the workflow or what are the triggers and actions in the workflow? And if you like the responses, you can also help the AI by giving it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So let's ask it now, what are the triggers within this workflow? And it's going to scan the workflow, and your triggers are the things that always live along the top. So it says the workflow triggers is a form submitted, and then it actually lists all the actions in order. Now, it then prompts you again to ask questions. So can you list specific triggers used in this workflow? What are the key actions performed in each step? So you can go into more detail. Or we could ask it, can you tell me if there are things I could improve for this workflow? And if Sally can spell correctly, we will be good. And let's see what it comes up with. So it's now going to scan the workflow. It's going to get to work for us. This workflow appears to be well structured with clear steps for tagging contacts, creating opportunities, and following up with emails, SMSs. To optimize it further, consider these points. So 1, add conditional logic. So incorporate more decision points to personalize action based on contact responses or engagement levels. Include error handling. So set fallback paths for missed replies or technical issues. Leverage delays. Adjust wait times based on typical responses to improve engagement. Track KPIs. So add a goal trigger to measure conversion rates and identify bottlenecks. Personalization, use more custom values to tailor messages to individual contacts. or review engagement points. So ensure SMS email sequences are optimized. So you'll see here, it gives us a list of suggestions and help to improve on those. So if we were looking through these, it's suggested consider adding more personalized content to your emails and SMS, implement A/B testing, evaluate wait times and adjustments could increase responses, add additional triggers for different scenarios, regular reviews of conversion points at each step, or incorporate feedback collection after the workflow to improve future automations. So let's choose evaluate wait times between steps. Let's see how smart it is. So you can see there's a little bubble here thinking. So it says here, in your current workflow, the wait time includes a 10-minute after additional tag, 0.3 minutes, about 18 seconds before sending a follow-up message, 1 hour for SMS, 3 minutes before sending the next follow-up, wait 1 day for the next email, additional 1 day before subsequent emails. So to potentially increase the response rate, it's given us some suggestions. Shorten the initial wait time, reduce the timeout period from 1 hour to 30 to 45 minutes, adjust the 3-minute wait to a shorter interval, and keeping the 1-day delay for follow-up emails is usually effective, but you could start testing things like 12-hour delays that might boost engagement. So that's how we can review, look through, and improve current existing workflows. But what if you want to build a workflow from scratch? Well, I've set up along the top here, these little buttons here, this one will allow you to download the transcript with a little drop down arrow, and this one will clear everything that you've done and you can start all over again, back at those main questions. All right, now along the bottom here, because this is my sandbox account, I don't actually have the unlimited AI connected, but you'll see it tells you how many credits are still remaining and that they reset every day. So for all the questions, and I did test it a few times before coming live today, I think it was at about 28 when I came in, we've used up about 5 credits to get that information that we received. But if you're on the unlimited plan, then you will get unlimited clicks and usage for not just the workflow AI, but for all of the AI employee team. So let's head on over now to a blank workflow. So I thought, why don't we create an indoctrination series? So an indoctrination series is when you get a brand new lead. After they get their freebie or they've opted in, we want to educate them about what it is that you do. So let's head on down to the workflow AI in the bottom left-hand corner. And I'm going to choose this time assist with building to get your tasks done. So let's click on that. And once it does a little read, it's going to probably ask us a few questions. So it's analyze the workflow, and to build a workflow, consider taking these actions. Here are some common actions. It says like sending emails and SMS to follow up contacts, updating contact details, assigning leads, adding tags, logging notes, and much, much more. But I'm just going to ask it, help me to build an indoctrination series workflow for a new lead. And it's going to now think, and let's see what the results are that it comes up with. So to build an indoctrination workflow for a new lead, start by setting a trigger for when the contact is created or tagged as a new lead. Then add a series of actions such as sending a welcome email, sharing valuable content, and scheduling follow-ups. You can include goal events to track engagement, like link clicks or content views, and attach tags to segment leads based on their interactions. So if you need specific actions or trigger options, I can guide you through the details. So now again, it's giving us a list of prompts that we can use. So what steps should I include in the indoctrination series? How do I create the email templates? Can you suggest a timeline? What content should I provide to the new leads? And how do I track engagement? So let's begin with, what content should I provide for new leads? Now what it's going to do is give me a list of content. You should provide content that educates, builds trust, and addresses their needs. Example could include a welcome email, introduction videos, helpful guides, case studies, and FAQs. Tailor content based on their interest and stage in the buying journey. So now what we can do is help me build this workflow. Workflow. What is the first thing to do? Let's have a look what it says. And it's thinking, what trigger should I set for the workflow? So it says the first step is to go to Workflows area inside the Automations section of your CRM or OmniTEAMS. Click on the plus to create new workflow. To start a new workflow, you choose Start from Scratch, use a template, or select a ready-made recipe. So I'm going to ask it, what trigger should I set up for this workflow? So the trigger is this one at the top that triggers people to enter the workflow. So it says here, you should choose a trigger based on the goal of the workflow. For example, if you want to start the contact on a specific link, trigger link clicked. If you want to initiate when a new contact is created, use the content created trigger. Let me know your goal so I can suggest the most appropriate. And I'm going to choose here, trigger when a new contact is created. So it goes to trigger a new contact. You should use create a contact created trigger. This will start your automation when a new contact is added to the system. So what we can do is click up here, new trigger. Then we're going to look for created, and we can see contact created, and we'll click on that and then save trigger. Now it says, what actions should I add next? Or how do I customize the email? Or what content should I include in the emails? Let's keep it super simple. What should I add next? So we're just going to click that little button there. And it says, since your workflow is triggered to create a new content, consider adding the following actions to engage new contacts. So some option will be send a welcome email or an SMS, assign relevant tags, assign contact team members, create a task, or move contacts to a nurture follow-up. So I'm going to say, let's send a welcome email to the new contact. So now it's going to tell us how to send a welcome email to the new contact. So you should select send email action in your workflows. Make sure to create and select a suitable email template. This action can be triggered right after the contact has created specific conditions. If you like, I can guide you through setting up the steps in the workflow. So yes, guide me through the steps in the workflow and what actions to add. So we've got two main things that happen in a workflow. We've got triggers, the things that bring them in. Then we have actions, the things that happen within the workflow. So it says here, currently the workflow is triggered when a contact is created. To guide you, here are some common actions. So number one, send a welcome email and SMS. So the action type is send email or SMS. So let's add that. click on Actions. We're going to look for Email. We're going to click Send Email. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this out without adding content to it yet. So I'm just going to call this one, what it says here, a welcome email. And I'm just going to pop that in the subject line. What I'm looking for is anything with a red star, which means I can't save it until it's completed. And then Save Action. Now, if you've known me for any amount of time, you know every action needs a name. Naming conventions are super important. So I'm also going to name the action so I don't have to open it all the time to know what's happening in the action. And then I'm going to save that action. So the next step, it says you could send an SMS. So we can do that. Add an action, put SMS, click SMS. Now, I haven't got a phone number connected to this account, so it may not be happy with me because it is a sandbox account that I play around in. Let's just click cancel because, yes, I don't have a phone number. Next, it says add a tag to a contact. So the action type is add a contact tag. So let's click on the plus button and we'll search for add a contact tag. And then the contact tag for this one would be an activity, new lead, and I'm just going to create that and save. Oh, don't forget to name the action or a little birdie dies. Now, normally I wouldn't just put in new lead. I would put in the new lead section the name of what they opted in for. So, for example, this could be indoctrination series or newsletter, or even like in the previous example, 25 things, which refers to opting in for the 25 things email. All right. So then it says to update contact field. So the action type is to update the contact field. The purpose is to record the additional information like source or preferences. Example, set a custom field for lead source. So I always like to add them a lead source in. So we're going to search for update contact field. And then the field type is the source. And the source is what they opted in for. So let's just say the people that come in here, they've opted in for, we choose this little tag here on the left-hand side. And then you will see under contact, custom fields. Oh, not there. Hang on, let me just find it. Let me just go back to the start. I've got to remember which one it is. It's in here, user appointment calendar account right now. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find where it is. I usually just duplicate everything and I don't have to remember where they are. Source, campaign, UTM source. That's usually what I use. So I use UTM parameters in my URLs to know where the source comes in. There's also one that is source. User appointment calendar, no message account. It's okay. So it is source. So if you don't have, and say I was building the 25 things you should automate in your business, I would actually just type in 25 things because I know that that's the ebook that they've opted in for. All right, moving on. It says create a follow-up task. So this action is called create task / notification, purpose to remind your team member to follow up with the contact. So let's click that. Let's search for create a task and look for task. There we go. Add a task. And then the task will be to follow up with new lead. In the description, we can have new lead has entered the indoctrination series. And then, if I can spell correctly, we can put the person's name using contact name. Let's just scroll so she works. Why is she not scrolling? Contact. Contact fields. Where have you disappeared to, my friend? All right. Actually, we'll just have the contact name because the task is attached to the content, Sally. You can assign it to a user. Now, this is a sandbox account, so I don't have any users in here. And then you can say, when is it due? So in 1 day, it is due. It's not going to let me save it because I actually don't have any users in this account. So that's what you'll do to create a follow-up task. Now, if you're not sure what to put in the emails, then we could ask it, what should I put in the emails and how many should I send? Let's see what it comes back with. So for workflows, consider this relevant. Sending relevant and personalized content based on your goal. For example, an initial welcome email, a follow-up email with valuable information, offers or updates, and thank you for feedback. The number of emails depends on your campaign. So I'm going to ask it for educational emails providing resources related to service. Now, if I had this attached to OmniTEAMS, then it would actually understand and know about my business. It would know my brand voice, what we do, all of that, and go back to previous videos to learn how to set that up. But if this was attached, it would be more personalized. Now, because I'm just in my sandbox account that I play around in, it's not as smart, right? Because it hasn't yet been educated here in the sandbox account. So I've just asked it, can you help me to draft the content for the educational emails? And it says, sure. To help craft the educational email content, please specify the topic or program you're focusing on. Now, because again, I haven't got this one connected to the OmniTEAMS account, it's asking for me to go deeper. Like, is it focused on fitness or cooking or digital marketing? We're going to tell it is for OmniTEAMS SaaS, which means software as a service. And we have an agency that helps with sales and marketing automation. And we'll just see what it comes back with. Great. For OmniTEAMS SaaS, you can customize workflows. So what specific topic should I cover in the email? And we can just keep working through it like this. So as you can see, it's going to help to prompt you on what to do. Now here, I've just cleared the chat. It says add actions. If we click that and hit send, I want to add actions to my workflow with my use case. So it's asking now, please share the details of your use case. I can help you choose the appropriate actions. So I'm just going to tell it that it is for an indoctrination series. And we wait. What actions can I include in the indoctrination series? How do I set up a welcome email? Can you guide me on creating a follow-up? Or what is the best way to segment? So let's begin with what actions can I include? And again, we're coming back to that first email, introductions with brand values, contact tags, and then we can continue asking it for recommendations. So it's going to work with you as you build out the workflow. You will ask it questions. You can even ask it to help you write your actual emails. Now, maybe I should have, for this demonstration, created a workflow in the OmniTEAMS account so that it already used my brand voice. But you can see here, it does so many things. Now, these things are always improving. So what we're showing you today will probably change in a few months' time in regards to more features, right? Because AI, really, it is in its infancy. It's really, everyone who's using it now is ground floor level. So I suggest that you get into the workflows and ask it to explain some of the workflows. If you've got a business in a box, you will know that we've given you loads and loads of workflows. So if you want to get a deeper understand what's happening in those workflows, then use that workflow AI team member to review what it is in the workflow and explain it to you in simple and easy steps to understand what the workflows are. Now, of course, if you have a business in a box, and if you've joined us here at OmniTEAMS, a lot of you get that. We also give you a video that you can go through, a video series for it as well. But the in-app workflow is really handy. And honestly, sometimes I create test workflows and I'll jump in, and instead of opening everything and trying to work it out, every step through the workflow, I'll just use the workflow AI to give me a nice simple summary without me having to click in and read every single thing that's built in the workflow. And some of our workflows are, they have a lot of things in them. Let me just show you one for an example. If you're in let me just come over here. I am here in, where are you here? Fortunes in the follow-up. So in our Fortunes in the follow-up workflows, we've got this new lead follow-up, and look at this and how big it is. So this is a lot of workflow going on right here. So sometimes if you look at something like this, you're going to be like, what? So I can easily just come in here to the AI and I can ask it to describe this workflow. So before I hit that, I'll tell you what it is. It actually allows us to follow up, and it sets up tasks to let us know when to follow up with people. It's using what we call our Fortunes in the follow-up ATC system, which means attempt to contact. So it's analysed the workflow and it says, this workflow helps to manage new contacts by guiding them through different steps based on their responses and actions. It starts by waiting until there is a phone number that's available. Then it assigns the contact to a team member, and based on whether the contact is new, engaged, has said no, it triggers follow-up tasks like making calls, sending emails or text messages, updating contact details. It also schedules follow-up reminders, tracks progress, and moves the contact through various stages of the sales process, including closing sales or marking them as lost. The goal is to automatically follow up, gather information, and optimize communications to turn a lead into a customer, which is exactly what it does. And we can go even deeper by getting it to break down the steps in the workflow, or what is the purpose of each element, or how does this workflow benefit my business. So let's just click on the last one and see what it says. So how does this workflow benefit my business? This workflow helps your business by automating routine tasks like lead qualification, follow-up communication, and opportunity creation. It saves time, reduces errors, and ensures consistent engagement with prospects. By automating these processes, your team can focus on high-value activities, improve customer experience, and scale your outreach efficiently. That's exactly what it does. So there we go. That is a little overview of a more complicated workflow. And if you wanted to really break it down into small little points on all of those, it'll definitely do that for you as well. But, you know, we've been at this for a while. We're nearly at the top of the hour for our weekly live stream. And I have room with elites and done for you clients in here who are waiting for us to go dark so that we can answer questions. So as always, this is our live stream that we do every single week, same time, 9 a.m. Melbourne time, Australia. Smart people Google their own time zone. Okay. And I'm going to come across to those in the VIP room, turn those cameras on. A couple of you, let's bring you up to answer what was your key takeaway from today. So, Jenny Williams, I can see your microphone's on already.
I've been to the other classes, but it looks very interesting. So I need to go back and watch the previous ones as well to kind of get an idea of all the things that the AI is able to do. So that I think, you know, it's fascinating all the things that it can do now. I didn't know we had that, you know, all this available in OmniTEAMS. So that's very exciting.
Excellent. So the content one, like the first 3 weeks are really fun. It's content creation and, you know, getting them to reply to chats. This is a bit more techie, right? This is kind of like, this is what people pay us to do. But if you're doing it yourself.
This is what I pay you to do.
That's right. But if you're doing it yourself and you're a DIY, it's definitely there and available for you. Who else have we got in the room? Let's bring up Cindy Lou. Come on up, Cindy Lou. What's your one takeaway from today?
Hello, beautiful.
Hello.
It's so good to be.
Lovely to see you.
My one takeaway is, what a great thing that it's similar to Jenny's. It's like right there. It's so easy to find and it takes you through step by step. I love the step by step.
I love that. Thank you. And one more. We always try to do 3. Let's bring up Rachel. Come on. What's your one takeaway from today?
Yeah. I'll say I'm gonna just echo what everybody else said because this is the first one I've been on in a month too. So it's a little bit like, whoa, that's so much, and how do I make that work with all the things that I have going on? But really excited to just see you kind of go through the demo and how thorough it was, and it wasn't just kind of spouting off the same kind of things that you might expect, you know, from an untrained AI, I'll say, just from like a chat GPT, for example.
Yes. Yeah. So once you guys go back and watch, you know, the first few weeks, you'll be able to program all of that in the back end so that it's smarter when it has conversations. Like I've got like 120 FAQs in the back of mine that people ask so that if people are phoning or they're messaging or DMing, the AI can help as much as possible, but it also knows when to send it to a human as well, which, you know, of course, we can have all these fancy tools. We can have all of these automation goodness, right? But nothing beats human, you know, like it won't fix it. They're not perfect. I mean, us as humans, we're very imperfect creatures. And who develops AI? Humans. So therefore AI is going to be just as imperfect. But it really does. I find the best thing with it is time saving. It really is cents on the dollar. If you were having, like last week, we looked at the voice AI who can filter your inbound calls, for example, and get rid of those spam calls and only get customers through to the human who need to speak to the human. If people have just got questions, it asks questions. It can answer questions, also, if they are wanting to book an appointment, it can do all of that for you so that the human, if they're speaking to a human in the room, they can continue doing that while the AI looks after that. So honestly, to have a receptionist that can take the phone calls, answer FAQs and book, it's like cents on the dollar compared to what it would cost to hire an employee. And they're actually there 24/7 to help you once you've, you know, set in your voice and your goals and, you know, taught it a little bit of FAQs. You know, we're the best place to find your FAQs. Here's Ask ChatGPT. Give me some FAQs and insert business model. Right? So that's a great place to start. But go back and watch those previous 3 weeks. All right, as we wrap up, we are finishing up this whole month that we had for the OmniTEAMS AI Challenge. So there's 4 other videos for you to go back and watch. You can check those out over on our OmniSam YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to those channels so that you don't miss out on upcoming Strategy with Sally sessions and any other live training that we run. So next week on Strategy with Sally, we're going to be going into our tagging system. We call it the OmniWay tagging system. Now, this is how we create tags. We have a specific naming convention because you see, when you are tagging, there's no rules for creating tags. And I don't like that. So we have a rule book for you to follow. So whether you're looking at your automation, we're looking at your automation, or any of our team are looking at your automation, we know what's happening within your tags so that you don't end up with death by tags and you've got no idea what half of them are about. And that's a very common thing we see. So join us next week on Strategy with Sally, where I'll be going through the OmniWay tagging system with you. As always, never let anyone dull your sparkle. If you want to give OmniSam a try, we have a 14-day free trial available for you. Just head to omnisam.com.au. You can register to watch a little demo, or you can take us up on that 14-day trial. Or if you want to speak to a human first, you can just book an appointment and talk to one of our sales reps who will go walk through the system with you to show you all of its features. And it's got a lot of features, but what features you need and are best for your business type. So have a fantastic week. Never let anyone dull your sparkle. Make sure you get at least one income producing activity done each and every day. And I'll see you on the next live. Bye for now.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art.